What's up everybody, Chris Wojnarski. We're back again, welding fabrication, longer form video I guess. So if you don't like long videos, tune out I guess. But my video got cut off at like 5 minutes and I was tacking all those up. But here was my wrenches that I'm making. If you didn't see the first part, these are like for the water company and whatever you throw on the ground. And they use the wrenches to unscrew these, but they need them in 2 different sizes. They need 10 wrenches, but they need 10 and 10 to like 10 pieces. So really they were happy with 20, which I guess would have been more money for the company, but we wanted to make it a little more convenient for them, and they liked this idea better to make them interchangeable. So 10 wrenches, 10 of those, but make these be able to fit into like interchangeable. So have the wrenches and this interchange out, and the bigger piece interchange in, because these are 2 different sizes. This one fits on there, and I got a smaller one that fits on there, but it won't fit on the big one. So I'll take a little piece of tubing like this, and here's my piece like that, and fits up in there. And it'll be like a little springy clip or a little cotter pin, nice little pin thing to hold it together. Not sure yet. That'll hold it together. And we're going to make a little thing that goes right here so they could put an extra piece right there if they want, or take it off so they don't got to lose it. So that'd be a cool little addition to them. But what I was doing before was, those were all tacked up already before my video got cut off. I had all these tacked, or I was tacking the tops on this, which was probably boring anyway, but now I'm going to start welding them if you care to watch. I don't think they're going to take much pressure at all, so I think I could get away with fusing it without wire. I'll have the wire in my hand in case I need to use it, but I'm going to turn the pulser machine on and we'll do some pulse welding. So we'll bring you over to the welder and show you our little setup. Everlast 325 EXT. Now I like this because this got pre-settings in here, so I don't have to set everything up already. I think it's 3 or 4 that's my pulse setting. So 2 is aluminum, 1 was DC, 3 is, that's the basically lift arc stuff. So I do that when I'm doing pipe, almost like a scratch start setup, but I just use the pedal and ramp it up. Pretty cool with 4T setup. But setting 4 is my pulse. Yeah, standard pulse, DC. You could just switch that to AC DC if you want, but it's always on DC. So normal, let's go through pulser setting, 250 amps. Now with pulsing, you actually need more amperage, so just keep that in mind. If I was welding that at like 150 amps, just say, if I was to pulse that, I'd probably need like 170, maybe more, who knows. But it takes more amperage because it blast on, blast off, blast on. You get the point. But we'll go through this. I do 43% on time, pulse time on 43%, pulse amps 33%, and then 1.2 pulses a second. Now you can interchange this. A good ballpark is the rule of 33% on time and 33% amps or background, whatever that is. That's a good tip for you. That I learned that from Jody Collier, Welding Tips and Tricks. The rule of 33, and then he even says 33 pulses a second, which is pretty good. But sometimes I like to slow that down to like burn instead of do. So if that makes sense. Then we'll go over to downslope none, end amps 5, post flow 8, which is probably fine. Pre-flow 0.2 seconds. A little pre-flow really helps a lot. It helps with a smoother arc start. Start amps 15, doesn't really matter. Not anything thin. Upslope none. Weld amps, high frequency TIG, and that's about it. But just nice because I could always toggle between this. 4 is good, and if I want a little more like amperage in there, I'll switch that pulse time on probably to like 50 or slow it down. So it all depends what you're welding, really. Everything has its own stuff. If I leave my amps around 250 and I just use the foot pedal, I kind of like to weld hot a little, I guess, and I always have the amperage set like a lot hotter than I need to. I just learn to work with it. I know a lot of people set their amperage up to like 5 or 10 amps more than what they need, and not much more than that, because it actually gives you a lot more accuracy like that. But I just learned to do this, especially with like tacking and stuff. It's just nice to be able to blast it and get in and out, and just something I learned and I like, but I understand it from both ways. So we'll set you up on the tripod, I guess, and give you a little pulse time on, right? Hopefully I don't shut this video off. I think I shut it off before when I hooked it up or something. All right, we're still going. So, see how I can, maybe I could get you set up a little better. Hang on. Pick up like that. Give you a little better view. So, we'll get to it. Make sure you have a nice clean tungsten to start with. And we'll start rocking and rolling. Oh. Here'd be a good time to put the headphones in, probably. But alright, so let's see how we do. Now we'll go from there and adjust the amperage to what we need it. But I think I got a lot more amperage than I need, so I'm going to drop it from 250 down to about maybe like 200, maybe 175. And I'm going to speed up my pulse time, the pulses per second a little bit. So I'll drop this down to about, let's say 175 might be good. Then that's probably good. That's good. I'm going to speed this up a little to like 1.4 pulses a second, because I felt like I was going a little slow, because I like to move with I like to spread it apart with the pulser. So like pulse, move over, pulse, pulse, and I feel like I could go just a little bit faster than that. So just speed it up a little, and this should be good. I might not show you all of them, but I'll show you how to get it dialed in. And then one other little tip is, a lot of this tubing has like, it was cut square, but the tubing's round. And instead of rounding them, what I do is when I'm welding that, I just wash in. So I'll float around there with the arc a little bit, and I'll wash it in a little bit more, and it helps round it. It makes it a little smoother, so you don't have to grind it afterwards. It's not sharp like this one. Like, it's still a little, if you want, you could take the grinder and smooth it out a little, but it's not really necessary on this. So pretty good, not sharp or anything. So a little trick if you want, like, you got these big sharp corners right there when you're welding. After it's all good, just sit there. It was a lot bigger than that before, but just sit there with the arc for a second and wash it in a little, and that melts it and basically adds it as filler metal or filler wire and melts it in. So little trick. Little rest zone, gotta hold it right there, makes it a little easier. And I always like to tap the tungsten first before I start the weld, because I feel like it gives a little smoother arc start. right, let's see. Definitely a lot better. Now this is the thicker material. This is like 3/16. This, ooh, that's a little hot. This one's 1/8 inch or 14 gauge, so it's going to be a little different. I'm probably going to have to bump the amps down for that, but I think we got it a lot better on that one. A little more consistent. Now it is a little uglier, I will say. Those corners like that, washing it, you can see how it's a little inconsistent. So if you wanted it to look pretty, you don't have to wash it like that. But these are going to be never seen. These, for what these are, it's not worth it to do that. So we're pretty good. I'll do a couple more for you guys and we'll go from there. Alright, I think we're pretty good with all that. I don't think I changed it. I'm almost maxed on the amperage though. So I was floored with the foot pedal at like 175 for that. So we'll go one on the thinner stuff, one or two on the thinner, and see if we got to change anything. Just show you guys the difference. But see how much faster that pulse welding is, like something like that. If you got to fuse something, just makes it a lot faster. That way, if I was to do this without the pulser, I'd probably weave it a little, do like a little weave and fuse it like that. So, makes it a little faster and easier for yourself. All right, here's the thin one. We actually have a problem. Got a little hole in that. Not good fit up. That beginning was a little ugly how I got that big hole, so I went back over it. Let me try turning it like this. Maybe I think it'll be a little better. Yeah, it was a lot better going that way. I'll show you what I did in a second. Okay. So, where's the one that looks like Fido's butt right there? I had a big hole right there where I started out at first, and I went back over it, but we got a little better as we went along, but definitely different welding style. This one you could just set it and go pretty much. This one you had to be a little more careful because you could see a little gap right there, and if you have a little gap when you're fusing it like that, it actually opens up a lot faster. And with how thin this is, it's only 14 gauge, definitely makes it a lot easier going from thick to thin. But what I did was, first time I welded it like this and had the torch like this or whatever, tungsten, and going like that, and made it a little harder. Now spinning it like this with the tungsten, focused on the 1/4 inch plate and washing it over, like the way I angled it, kind of washes that thick stuff on as like filler metal, and just makes it a little easier. And a little trick to that helps you a little bit. So we'll try and make a better one for you. And I went a little lighter on the amperage. I wasn't just blasting away and going at it. I was a little more careful with it, so we'll try making a better one for you. But yeah, I'm holding the like angled a little different, watching it that way, and I'm focusing the arc more on the thicker piece than in the middle. Now that works. You can see it's definitely gapped though, but it's already hit down, so it's not like that. It's just how thin it is, and the flat bar how it's rounded like that. So not much you can really do to that. Now you can put the wire on there and do a little light wire too. Try that for you. And that actually worked a little better. That's probably the best way to do it if you have like a little gap like that, but it does make the weld bead a little bigger, so you gotta keep that in mind too. Unless you have a smaller wire, we only have a MIG wire that is smaller than this, so let's see. Not as pretty with the wire. Here was one without the wire. You can see it's a little indented, but with the wire, let's see. There's one with the wire, and a little better, but you can see it's a little higher, so just keep that in mind. And you can adjust your settings too to make it a little better. So from there, All right, so not much to it. I'm gonna try taking my phone off the tripod. Hopefully it doesn't sign me out, but if it does, thanks for watching. All right, we're pretty good, but yeah, not much to it. You don't probably want to see the rest of it, but little tips for you guys. Hopefully you liked it. Let me know if you enjoyed this longer form content in the comments, and maybe I'll do a little bit more. It's actually a lot easier than this. It's gonna be like a no edit video because it takes me usually a while to do editing, so we'll see. I might post this to YouTube too. So only thing that sucks though is the video is straight up and down, so if you watch it on YouTube it won't look as good. It would have to be filmed like that, but for Instagram it's fine, but not for Instagram. For YouTube, not good. So Chris Wojnarski, over and out.